Welcome to 2 out of 3 Recommend. I'm Lee.
And I'm Brett,
We're two brothers out of three getting together to chat.
and recommend drinks, movies, shows, and things to keep you busy.
Welcome back to 2 out of 3 Recommend. Long time listeners to the podcast will know that I don't like to start episodes like that, but it is a new year.
Been a while.
New year, same me.
Same me.
Same me.
I was going to do a new year, new me thing, but then I was like, no, mate, I've still got lower back pain. Same me.
Yeah. I'm still going to make the same terrible decisions in 2024 that I've made for the last years of my life. How are you, Brett?
I'm all right, Lee. How are you?
Good. We are 2 out of 3 brothers recommending stuff for life. And this year, answering some big questions.
Yeah, we got some big questions.
So we're still going to talk about sitcoms. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
All right, regular listeners.
I watched one just before I came here.
I just finished a season of what could arguably be called a sitcom.
Okay.
Yeah. And I
Is it
feel
The
like
Good
we've... No, I haven't rewatched The Good Place. I feel like we've watched the same new sitcom, which we will come to. And there's a sitcom that was referred to on our socials at 2 out of 3 brothers before Christmas that we're also going to discuss maybe this episode, maybe next episode.
Okay. Let's see how we
There's
go.
a lot that's happened in the last
It's been a busy, month?
6 weeks.
Yeah, month and a bit.
Almost 6 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah. But we are back.
we are.
What have you watched? But first, forgotten, it's even written on my
It's either
whiteboard.
at least forgotten to
Intro.
look at the whiteboard.
Drink, snack.
Yeah.
Drink.
Drink. What have
Okay.
you found for us in the
I
in the
have
bargain bin?
found Absolute cocktails in a can because Absolute is our vodka brand. Not that we're sponsored.
Yeah.
They're just not Russian.
It's yep.
Um,
Also, neither's Belvedere for those that have Belvedere
Okay.
in their drink trolley in their house.
Absolute cocktails. This is a berry vodka-rita, which I
Yes.
assume is like a margarita but with vodka.
And berry.
So it
It is a
has
sparkling alcoholic drink.
vodka, liquid sugar, carbonated water, fruit juices from concentrate, natural flavours, food acid, acidity regulator, and preservative.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, well, it's not. I don't know why it's a Rita then, because margaritas have tequila in them. That's all I'm going to say.
But maybe that's why it's a vodka-rita.
Okay, yep.
Yep. But it is the berry flavour of vodka-rita.
And it can't be. It says not under 18, and you can't drink it if you're a car
Okay.
or pregnant.
Sorry, Lightning
So if you're a
McQueen.
17-year-old pregnant car, this is not for you.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be strong because it's a small can, but it's 1.3 standards.
Usually these ones are 1.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what we've got. The
give it a
Absolute
go.
Cocktails Berry Vodka-rita.
I've forgotten how to open a can.
Oh, it's not like you haven't drunken a can.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
It's a boy.
It's a pregnant car.
Okay,
Cheers.
Cheers.
I got a whiff of berry
That's actually...
before it even got to
Oh,
my
you
mouth.
know what, actually? No. What berry is that?
It's fruits of the forest. You know that jam where got a little bit of blackberry, a little bit of raspberry, and a little bit of strawberry jam left. Let's do fruits of the
I
forest.
don't eat a lot of berries,
No.
but that doesn't taste like a berry. You know what I mean? It tastes almost cherry brandy-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, a child would love this.
Ooh. Well, I don't know if we've talked about it, but they had to change the hard solo to hard rated solo
yes. I saw
because
that in the club
apparently
the other day.
children were drinking it.
Yeah.
Like, who's selling it?
Yeah, well, that's the problem, isn't it? Because cruisers were fine. I mean, children were drinking them, but that's... Anyway.
You know what I want to come back? I'm annoyed. I don't want to get political, right?
Geez, first step, and 10 minutes in, we're getting political. It is
But-
an election year in one country.
The Victorian state government that outlawed Alco Pops, not happy. It's going back a while. Remember the Alco Pop thing? They were going to make
Cruisers?
essentially, no, Zuper Dupers
Oh, right.
But alcoholic.
Yeah. Oh, God, I fucking love them.
Yeah.
You can make them.
Yeah, well, I could make a
You could.
I could make a vodka margarita, but I'm not going to. It's in a can.
You can make a frozen cruiser in like a 5-minute crafts video on Facebook, but
Take
it'll
about
you
45
4
minutes.
hours.
Yep.
And you have to build the contraption to put it in a freezer yourself.
Yeah,
you have to build the right shape out of you have to get epoxy. Everything has epoxy in it.
You have to buy all of the parts to build your own freezer
Yeah.
in 5 minutes.
You have to build a freezer.
I love those
They're
videos.
fucking dumb. And then it always ends up ugly. I think we've spoken about it before. They do these craft things that take 5 minutes, but they take an hour, and they always end up ugly.
Do you think they started with good intentions?
I think they started with good intentions, but then they did a bit of a Sharknado. They started with good intentions, then they realised how stupid it was, so they just lent into the stupidity.
Well, I think there would have probably been a few comments of like, oh, this is going to take longer than 5 minutes, or I don't have a hot glue gun. And they're like,
Yeah.
well, fuck you. You have to use epoxy and everything.
Now you need a power sander. Yeah.
Now you need to buy a lathe.
What's a lathe?
Lathe
I
is...
haven't been lathed to...
Well, now it's awkward that I'm about to say
What's a lathe?
Grandpa had one. It's about as long as this table.
Yeah.
And it spins. Woodworkers use it.
Oh, I've seen them on those... Yeah.
Yeah,
And it
and
makes
it
like
spins.
a spoon.
Or it spins, or you carve the chair legs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know it was called a lathe.
Sorry, don't just need a hot glue gun. You need 5 days, a lathe, and an epoxy, and you need to be able to be certified in welding
Yeah.
to do this 5-minute craft. Teeth toilet seat.
Don't get
That's
me
the one we've
started
talked
on
about.
The teeth toilet seat. When I saw that, I'm like, okay, they're taking the piss.
Okay.
That was not intended.
When I
That was
when I saw that, I'm going follow.
When I saw those teeth, I thought they've bitten off a bit more than they can chew.
Oi, bit more than can poo.
That's bad. Oh,
Welcome back.
thank you. See you next week, everybody.
Speaking of
snack.
Speaking of biting
poo,
off.
we'll see how these make us poo later. I was in the shops
Yep.
and I found some chips. They're limited edition, Lee. They're Smith's.
Yep.
Sizzling steak and onions. So I don't know how they're sizzling.
Can I say I feel like we've eaten these?
Oh, I don't remember them. We had a barbecue, and we had an Aussie barbecue.
Okay, yeah.
I don't
No.
think we've had.
You know what? I think I actually had a steak chips
Jesus.
in Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Lay's brand though.
Well, Smith's Lay's, same shit.
Oh, who
Yeah.
ordered medium rare? They've got some colour to them.
This smells like dog food.
Doesn't smell good.
Okay, let's give it a
Cheers.
go. Cheers.
Here's the ASMR portion.
Oh. I'm not getting steak or onions.
I'm getting... They taste stale.
I'm not getting a flavour. You know what?
Yeah.
There's some flavour on there. I can't pick it. Maybe it's gluten free. It is gluten free.
Oh no, I have a little bit of onion. Definitely, I don't eat it much. There's definitely barbecued onion on there. Yeah.
No.
It's not at the top of my list.
All I'm getting is yeast extract and dextrose.
So, Vegemite.
Ugh. No. No. That's a no from me, Smiths. I do not recommend. There you go.
Nah. Just nah.
Yep, cool.
So can
Down with the
we
margarita.
go back to what have you been watching?
Yeah, we can.
Intro, drink, snack, watched. What have you watched, brother?
I've watched a lot.
Yeah.
TV, movies, sport.
Don't talk about movies,
Okay.
because our first episode of Two Drink Cinema is what movies have you watched over the holidays?
Okay, listeners of the podcast will be no surprise that there was a new sitcom that came out that I was keen to watch.
Listeners, just take in your own time 3 guesses at what Brett has watched on binge.
Nobody guessed it.
No.
Oh, it's disappointing. It was Ted.
Well, the main reason I watched Ted is because I knew you would watch Ted and we would talk about it on the podcast.
Look, it's funny.
Yeah.
In terms of if you like that humour, you already know what the humour is.
Yeah.
So if you like that, you're going to like it. If you don't, you don't. It's that simple. It's not as funny as the movie.
And it's not as out there as Family Guy.
No.
There's a couple of moments.
But it's good.
There were...
I didn't watch all of it.
After 2 or 3 episodes, I was kind of like, this is good.
Yeah.
And then we kept watching it, and I think it got better
Oh, okay.
as it went along.
Yep.
Or,
Your expectations got lower.
or early on I was doing my writery thing where I just expect things to be better than they are. And then by episode 4 or 5, I was just like, stop. This is Seth MacFarlane being stupid.
Yep.
Laugh when it's stupidly.
Get
And
it. They're from Boston.
the kid's Boston accent's not bad.
Yeah.
Although I did see a clip on my TikTok of the start of the Ted movie. And I'm not sure they've cast the parents with that same idea in mind. I think Seth MacFarlane's...
parents.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane's just gone, well, for this, I need funny sitcom parents, rather than taking that spin-off and making
Yes,
them like the
okay.
parents from the movie.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Even though in the movie they're only in like 2 scenes between 2 movies.
Yeah.
But the mum is funny.
The mum's good.
The one main criticism is I didn't need every episode to be pointing out that the dad's an arsehole.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did get a bit over that. But also, I think there were a couple of moments where I'm like, that's not a very 1993 joke.
Okay. Yep.
So, have you watched the Christmas episode?
Nope.
Yeah. There's one joke in the Christmas episode that's funny that I was going to talk about.
Well, don't spoil it.
So there's a joke about priests touching up kids, right? Which I'm sure happened in 1993.
Yeah.
It did, right? But I don't know if it was a joke in 1993 like it is in 2023, 24. You know what I mean?
But you can make a joke about it.
Yeah.
Or did it reference something that hadn't happened yet?
No, I just don't think that's a thing that people were joking about then like they are now.
Yeah, but it's also a sitcom about a bear that comes alive.
Yeah, okay, fine.
The funniest thing I laughed at a lot was that there was one, I think early on, and him and Ted and the kid get caught at some like shoplifting thing or something.
Yep.
And the guy's like, I'm going to need to call your parents. And the kid's like, my parents are on holiday or whatever he says.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Ted goes, I don't have parents on the fact that I'm a bear that came to life.
Yeah. On account of I'm a bear that came to life. But
Where is Bakery Hill?
Ballarat.
Why am I getting a phone call from Bakery Hill?
Um,
Is this about the sausage rolls?
okay.
That's very specific, though.
That's worth keeping in
Sorry.
It's worth keeping in the podcast.
Does anyone know this number? That's very specific.
Anyway,
Stop phone. Stop ringing. It's ringed for a long time. There we go.
press the button.
Done. I don't want to hang up because then they think I don't like them.
When you don't.
Well, no, I don't know them.
Exactly.
They could have sausage rolls. Anyway. So yeah, Ted is funny because it's Ted.
If you like Seth MacFarlane,
If you like Ted, you'll like Ted.
if you like Ted and Seth MacFarlane, you like Ted. I did see a funny TikTok, I did see a funny interview with Seth MacFarlane and the kid who plays Johnny.
John Bennett.
John.
John. Hey, John.
Johnny.
Johnny. Is that a shit? Sorry, that's the
You a knock? Knock?
What's that on my foot? A knock? I'm not a knock.
That's not Ted. The knock. That line. It's
No,
from The Heat.
It's from The Heat.
Yeah, Melissa
'cause
McCarthy's
Sandra Bullock's
family.
Like, what? Like, are you a knock? A knock? Sorry.
Because
Are you making fun of me? Are you a knock? Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy's family's from Boston.
Yeah.
Anyway,
If you need to make a family with criminals in it, apparently it's
do it in Boston.
Boston or you're Italian.
I saw an interview with Seth MacFarlane and the guy who plays John,
Yeah.
and the kid who plays John has been working with Seth MacFarlane since he was like 6 years old, voicing random kids on Family Guy.
Oh, okay. Good.
And then
Because I was like, he's new. He's not part of the Family Guy family. There you go.
Seth MacFarlane cast him in The Orville, not knowing that he had done some work on Family Guy.
Oh.
And then apparently also then cast him in Ted, not
knowing
really
he was
remembering
in
that he'd done stuff in The Orville.
I was going to say, I don't remember him in the Orville.
So then Seth MacFarlane goes, I'm the casting version of Mr. Burns. And he goes,
Yeah.
Simpsons, with the of course,
With the voice.
the proper Mr. Burns voice. The
Orville is
kid's
also
good.
for people. It's a different kind of Seth MacFarlane. It's still got some humour. It's not the same kind of humour, and there's some serious moments that are actually pretty good.
I think you have previously recommended The Orville.
Yeah, I'll recommend it again.
Okay.
It's a sitcom. Is it a sitcom?
Brett will recommend Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, except what was that shit one he did?
A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Yeah, that was not great.
I thought it was
And
funny.
the Cleveland Show.
Yeah.
Never really got into the Cleveland Show.
Not sure about spin-offs.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're risky. Apparently, there's going to be a spin-off from Young Sheldon.
Apparently, there's gonna. What the fuck?
It's like an Inception level
Yeah,
of
apparently that's like having a
spin-offs.
spin-off of Frasier.
a spin-off of Joey.
Yeah,
Because Joey was the spin-off from
Be a
Friends.
spin-off of Suits. I thought Suits was coming back. But then I
No,
thought
that's
the
Harry
spin-off-
and Meghan's podcast.
Well, that's what
It's
I thought the
different.
spin-off of Suits was.
The Royals.
Yeah, the Rachel Zane married a prince, and she's a bitch.
Instead of
I thought that was the
marrying
thing.
Mike.
And she has daddy issues. That was basically a character in the thing. She kind of had daddy issues. I don't want to get by my dad's name.
Yeah, so I'm going to marry a prince instead.
Yeah. Anyway, that got off topic as per usual.
As per
Ted,
usual.
tick. What
Ted,
else? What
okay.
else you got?
What have you done this holidays? Done is next on our list on the thing. And then we've got good deeds and then the big question.
Well, we went to good deeds. Shit.
Yeah.
I think it'd be easier because Christmas was in there.
I haven't even mowed Dad's lawn.
Yeah. We went to the tennis.
We
You
did.
went to a foreign country.
Yes, well, the foreign country's going to come up when it comes to the big
okay.
question.
Okay.
So we went to the tennis.
We've both had COVID in the break.
It was going to
That was
be
great.
it's going to be 2 days of tennis,
Yeah.
but I had COVID that ran out basically on the first day we'd bought tickets. So you and Dad went on the first day.
Yeah.
And then, actually, I want to recommend something to Ticketmaster.
Oh God, here we go. Yep.
If you-
This is a long list.
If you give someone a ticket,
Uh-huh.
you should be able to easily take that ticket back. So in the phone app, I can forward the ticket to someone, right?
Yep.
Which is what I did. I forwarded it to Dad, but maybe Dad isn't tech savvy, so couldn't work out how to accept it.
Okay.
But I was in bed with COVID, so I didn't see his messages being like, I can't accept it.
Yeah.
But there was no way in the Ticketmaster app for me to retrieve that ticket.
I thought you could.
You can do it on the in the computer,
Yeah.
but not in the app, even though you can forward in the app.
Oh, but then I
Can't
reject
retract.
it.
You can reject, but I can't retract in the app. I can retract on the computer, which is what I did. Yeah, so that's a recommendation for Ticketmaster, although they're a little bit busy with selling out the MCG 3 times. So we're not talking about Tay-Tay because we've bashed her too much.
Oh yeah, I'm not allowed to do that.
Yeah, we've had
Although it
feedback.
did make me very hard. I was trying to book some accommodation in Sydney next month.
Oh
I was
dear.
like, why are there no rooms? And then I was
Tay-Tay.
like, oh, when's Tay-Tay there?
Yeah. So, but we did go to the tennis, and I do recommend going to the Australian Open tennis.
The tennis is amazing every year, but I still like, well, every year I'm still like, fuck, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Because they add something new every year. They change
Yeah.
something up every year to make it better.
I heard that it's
Except for one thing.
part of AO's contract, like the AO, TA,
Melbourne
and
Park.
Grand Slam and the Victorian government all agreement
Yeah.
that they need to do something new each year or add something.
Well, they do, and there's so much there that I don't do. Like, because you can
Well,
go
we
for
go for the
multiple
actual
reasons.
tennis.
Yeah, you can go to watch the tennis.
Yep.
You can
Go to play pickleball.
You can go to play pickleball. You can go to sit in an Aperol bar all day and pay $20 for a drink.
You can go to watch G Flip.
You could go. Yeah, you could go to just sit on the grassy knoll
Yeah.
under a umbrella that I don't think was really that good at blocking out the sun.
They were very high and the sun was on an angle at some times of day, as the sun is.
Yeah, the sun moves.
Anyway, we got a ground pass, as we have probably for the last 30 years.
Yeah, maybe not.
And for the day we went, we just parked at John Cain Arena. So we got to see some
We got to
good
see some
tennis.
Good tennis.
Tanasi.
Tanasi, Grigor before he choked.
Yep. So that was a good day.
And we were there for 10 hours.
Yeah. And there was a match that we left before. Like, we
Yeah.
could have been there for another 2 and a bit.
Yeah, but then we left, got home, flicked on, fuck, it was boring. I'm like, yeah, good. We left at the right
Good
time.
choice.
And then the first day I did a similar thing, went to Kia Arena.
Great
It's a
arena.
very good arena.
Yep.
And then the second match was like, it's a bit boring. So went and explored the grounds. And it's very impressive. The
Yeah.
setup is insane.
Yeah.
And then it was too hard to get back in.
Of course.
Because it's like people line up to get onto a court to see a certain person or whatever.
Well, that's like the people sitting next to us were like, I might just duck out and go and see this one and come back when Kokonakis is on.
No,
And the
you
other
can't get
people
back
with
in.
them were like, well, no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, people are coming in at 10 o'clock
Yeah.
because Tanasi Kokonakis' match is at 3.
Yeah.
You won't get back in.
I reckon of all the matches that were on that day that we sat, well, you sit at an arena because one, it was like 32 degrees that day.
That's
we were in
true.
the shade,
Yep.
which I lined up with the roof to make sure I stayed in the shade.
Yeah, a
all day.
lot of people were looking at the roof and wondering, and yep, we worked it out. We nailed it.
I've been to John Cain Arena for a few times.
A couple of different sports. Yep. I saw Boyzone there. No, Westlife.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. They curtained off the top level because they didn't quite sell enough tickets. These days, this was like 10 plus years ago. These days, it'd be at Margaret Court Arena because it's a little bit smaller.
Is Westlife Ronan Keating? No, that's Boyzone.
No, I think Westlife is
Ronan
Ronan.
Keating.
One of them's Ronan Keating and one of them's Brian McFadgen.
I forgot that person existed.
Yeah.
He dated Delta. Didn't he?
Westlife are Shane Phelan, Mark Feely, Kian Egan, Nicky Byrne, and Brian McFadden was a member. He did marry Delta. Ronan Keating must have been in Boyzone then.
Maybe it was Boyzone.
Yes, Boyzone. He debuted in 1993 alongside Keith
Jesus.
Duffy, Michael Graham, Shane Lynch and Stephen Gately as the co-lead singer of Irish pop group Boyzone. When you say nothing at all. That's Ronan.
God, the mums loved Ronan. Remember when?
Oh, the mums.
And then he was on The Voice. Anyway, getting off topic.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
so those three matches that we watched were probably like the three matches I would have tried to watch anyway. So it was pretty convenient that they were all in the same court.
Yeah.
But yes, do recommend going to the tennis and sporting events held in Melbourne. They do it very well.
Good. All right. Big question.
Big question. All right, I'm ready. Hit me.
How much do you plan for a holiday?
It's been a while since I've had a holiday, like extensive holiday.
Yeah, like non-work, not work travel.
Like a weekend away,
Yep.
I plan what time I'm going to leave, what we're doing on Friday night, what we're doing Saturday, what we're doing Saturday night, when we're leaving Sunday.
You plan a lot then. Or is
When
that,
you're in a group, it's a group of 12 people, you got to do some shit.
or is that also because you feel the need to because you want to fit a lot into 2 days?
Well, I feel that I don't want to waste my time. Like if I'm going away for the weekend and I'm in a foreign place / Torquay for a whole day,
Yep.
I don't want to waste a whole day in Torquay just sitting around doing nothing, because that's what I'd be doing at home, and I wouldn't be paying money to stay in somebody else's house.
But you wouldn't be with the 12 people.
No, I'd still be hungover. But
Do you pack on the day?
no, maybe the day before.
Yeah, okay. So
This is, listeners, this is where Lee and I are different.
I booked a week's holiday in Vietnam.
Yeah.
This is another way that you and I are different. You say Vietnam.
Do I say Vietnam?
Yeah.
Oh,
And I say
'cause
Vietnam.
it's a Vietnam War.
Castle. You say castle, castle.
Vietnam.
So you saying Vietnam sounds really bogan
Maybe that's probably why I say Vietnam.
because you say Vietnam. Anyway, I booked a holiday to Vietnam with a friend because... and this is how it went, all right? And this is what I've had to say to everybody who's like, oh, how's Vietnam? How's Vietnam? Would you recommend that I go? Because people say recommend to me because I have a podcast about recommending things.
Yeah, good.
Would you recommend to go there?
Yeah.
At your birthday party, someone asked if I would recommend.
And you said no.
Well, I said, yeah, but that's got the tone.
Yeah, of
You don't really recommend that.
but
And
depends
this is
what
the
you're
reason.
looking for.
This is the reason, right? My friend had about a month in the Philippines and then was stopping in Vietnam on the way home. And he said, you should meet me for the week in Vietnam. I'm like, sure.
Great.
So we booked the flights and we booked them while I was sitting with him at work. So as after we'd booked the flights, he then had to go and do some work. So I left.
Okay.
And
No
then-
further discussion of
and
the
then
holiday.
we landed in Ho Chi Minh,
Oh,
basically.
for fuck's sake.
No,
How far out from the
sent
holiday did you
some-
book the tickets?
So what? We landed. The trip was the 8th of January.
Yeah.
So probably mid-November we booked the flights.
That's plenty of time, Lee.
Yeah, but it was that end of the year where everybody's busy. So we didn't actually see each other again
Okay.
until we met each other at the airport in Ho Chi Minh City.
They have these things called phones that
Yeah.
you can
There
call
were a
each other
few
on to
messages
discuss. They even
of
got them in
like-
Bakery Hill, Lee.
What do you think about this place to stay? I'm like, yep.
Did
And we go here.
I'm never traveling with you.
Then I was
fuck
like,
now.
what if, because we both land late at Ho Chi Minh City, this was the week before, we both land late at Ho Chi Minh City, instead of going down 2 hours away to the beach straight away, why don't we stay in Ho Chi Minh City on that first night? Like, yep. So I booked a hotel.
I haven't. Yep.
The rest of the planning for the trip was in the car on the way down to the beach that was a couple of hours away. We started to Google some things to do in Vung Tau.
Literally things to do in Vung Tau.
Yeah. And because Vietnam is not very made for Western tourists yet, like parts of Thailand or Bali or something, which is good because we got to see more real kind of Vietnam.
Yep.
But because certainly the south is not super resort westernized yet, it made it harder to find English spoken recommendations on booking.com or a whole lot of travel blogs about things for Westerners to do in Vietnam.
Okay.
So we kind of just hung around Vung Tau for a couple of days.
Yeah.
We're like, I don't think there's much going on here.
Did you go to Vietnamese McDonald's?
Yes,
How'd it go?
pretty good.
That's good.
The chips were fresh.
Good.
Yeah. I went to
That's
Vietnamese...
better than Footscray McDonald's. There you go.
to Vietnamese McDonald's and Vietnamese KFC.
Okay.
And then someone laughed at us because only kids and Westerners go to KFC in Vietnam.
Yep.
I'm like, that's fine.
Yep.
I am
a Western.
a Westerner with a child's palate.
Yeah.
So that's totally fine. So it was kind of making it up as we went along the holiday. And because of that, I don't feel like we got as much out of Vietnam as we could have.
Okay.
And then the last 2 days I had COVID.
Yeah. So that doesn't.
So that also doesn't count.
Like you didn't pay for anything that you planned.
Nothing was pre-booked.
You know
so I didn't
when
miss out.
you know when not planning anything kind of backfired for us
When?
when we had basically a day in a nothing town near Newcastle.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't plan of how we were going to get from airport to where we were staying.
Yeah.
And then we chose the last minute most expensive option of I just want to get to this thing.
We had a very sharp focus on that trip.
My focus was as long as I get to this place
Yeah.
by 4:30, I do not give a shit what else happens.
The trip was literally, we are going to a concert.
Yep.
Which was about 4 hours of a long weekend.
Yeah.
We didn't plan anything else
Yep.
around it. So we caught a bus to a slightly bigger town than where we were staying.
And went to Coles.
And then
And
we
had
went
breakfast.
back to Newcastle. And so this is the thing with not doing the research. And this is what I think I stuffed up about booking Vung Tau. I think I booked us on the wrong side of Vung Tau.
Okay.
So the night that we did kind of go like, there's got to be things to do. Let's find something. We caught a Grab, which is their version of Uber, to the other side of the
That's
peninsula.
aggressive.
They just come past and grab you on the scooter and you're off.
Lee?
Yeah.
It's better. That's probably better service. Isn't it?
they
rate your pickup. It was better than the pickup I got on
They went on the phone.
Saturday night. Didn't even. Anyway,
The pickup I got on Saturday night, he asked me 4 times what my name was. He's like, Lee? I'm like, yep, let's get in. Then he goes, Lee? I'm like, yep. Lee, yeah? I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Mine, one, didn't pick me up in the right spot. I had to cross a busy road
Correct.
and then dropped me off and said, can you give me a tip? Okay, here's my tip is don't ask for a tip.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, maybe I should give him a tip because I feel bad because it's literally like a 5-minute drive, not even.
Yeah.
But also pick me up in the right spot. If you gave me a good trip, I would maybe give you a tip.
My guy,
Anyway.
as we were driving, he goes, oh, you're going to this place? I go, yeah. He goes, is that near this place? I'm like, yeah, it's the next suburb. He goes, oh, I live there. I'm like,
Well, then you should know.
you should know what the next suburb is then.
Gosh.
Anyway, we took a Grab to the other side of the peninsula that Vung Tau is kind of at, and found some bars there. So I think if we'd done some research, I would have booked the other side of the peninsula, and there may have been more things to do. Ho Chi Minh City was very interesting, and I do recommend it, but I also do recommend planning an overseas holiday.
Good.
I don't want to say that too much because of the two of us. My husband is the planner, and I sometimes take the piss out of how much he plans.
Yep.
But
And
obviously,
then you get a holiday where you do Star Wars, the
Stuff.
soccer,
yeah.
Liverpool.
Well, because of that, my trip to the UK was I got to see some family friends at the start and got to go to Back to the Future, the musical.
yeah.
Pretty much the rest of the trip was Shane's because he organised everything.
You know, when I didn't do a plan, when I did my weekend trip to Swan Hill,
Oh, Swan Hill, yep.
which doesn't have an H in it, we didn't plan anything.
Well, this is the other reason that we didn't plan
But I was
too
there for a day.
much. So this friend that I went with, in the last 3 years, the only time we've really seen each other is when he has needed a staff member and I've filled in a shift working with him.
Yes.
We haven't hung out properly in probably 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And so we were both kind of happy to just like hang out together and wander aimlessly around the city.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really answer the question, do you think I should go to Vietnam?
No.
I'm like, well, do you have a friend that you haven't really seen in 5 years?
Yeah.
And you're going to hang out with them for 6 days? Yes, Vietnam is a good place to do that. Because if we'd done that in Melbourne, one, he would have been too close to work and probably had to do some work.
Yep.
But also, like, if we're just like, let's go and get some lunch. A banh mi in Victoria Street doesn't cost $1.20 like it does
No.
in Ho Chi Minh City.
But
So,
they're nice.
Yeah.
Did you get a banh mi?
I didn't get a banh mi.
Oh, well, okay. I was
Oh,
going to
no, I
say, how do
did.
they compare? But
I did, but I got it without some bits and pieces. And so it was kind of plain.
of course.
Yeah.
Sounds like you.
Sounds like me. There was one thing that I very much liked, and I can't remember the name of it, so let me find it. Because we did this little street food tour, which was the only real thing we did.
Yeah.
It's like there's this little noodly thing, and there's noodles and prawns and pork. They love pork.
Yep.
And then you pour the sauce in
Yeah.
and then mix it up. And then you have some noodles, and then you take a sip of the pork broth.
Okay.
You don't pour the broth into the noodle mix.
Right. Why?
That's called something. I'm actually not going to try and pronounce that because
Okay.
I'm going to offend people.
Yep.
But I have a photo of it. So if I do go out in Footscray or Victoria Street, I go, oi, can I have one of these?
Oh, yeah. I'll have
And
it.
it won't cost me $3, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it'll be hopefully good.
Yeah.
So I recommend planning overseas trips.
I would say, in answer to your question,
Yeah.
you should plan
Yes.
at least what you're doing at part of one day. You don't need to like have an full. I'm going to wake up at 9. At 9:30, we'll get the bus to here. At 10:45, we'll get the blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But you need to go. This is where we're going. Here's what we're going to do. On this day, we'll do this. If there's other shit in between, we've got spare time.
Yep. That makes sense. Okay.
And also then work out like money.
We worked out money.
Okay.
And the one thing that I kind of did do is chat to a couple of people who've been to Vietnam a couple of times about how much money I think I should take. And we had the right amount of money. That's the one thing we got
That's
right.
good. Yeah.
And that included having to buy cold and flu medication.
I was going to say, is that because for the 2 days you had COVID, you didn't do anything?
No, we went to the market. I bought some genuine, authentic Calvin Klein jocks.
Oh, and I saw your genuine, authentic Ray-Bans.
Yeah, yeah.
How much were they?
Not that. Well, they're genuine, authentic. So whatever full price of a Ray-Ban is.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
My genuine, authentic Hermes wallet.
Yeah.
I wanted to buy an Omega watch.
Uh-huh.
And I go, oh, how much for the watch? And she goes, 2 million. And then Christian leans over to me and goes, we've got 500,000 left. Like, no, thanks. And then they like started the bartering.
Yeah.
Oh, how much you think? How much you think?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have enough for this.
No.
Like, there's no way I'm getting you down to 300.
400.
Yeah. 250 from 2 million. If I'd gotten that, I would have bought two of them. But it didn't happen. But that's fine.
Cool.
So, 2024.
2024.
Normally we finish this episode with recommending a movie that people should watch for Two Drink Cinema,
Uh-huh.
but we can't do that
No.
because for our first episode of Two Drink Cinema for 2024, we haven't watched a movie.
No, we're doing randoms.
So what I'm going to recommend instead is that you join the Facebook group that I will link to in the comment, not in the comment, in the show notes, and you can tell us how much you plan for a holiday
Yeah.
and tell us what you thought of Ted.
Yeah.
And suggest some good deeds, because I feel like we should do things.
I'm a good person in general. I will
Yeah.
say, I think last year I said good deed is giving people directions in the city.
Yep.
The city needs to pay me because especially when the Australian Open's on at school holidays, there's tourists.
Yeah.
I was in 7-Eleven.
Getting a
this-
sausage roll.
This guy walks up. Goes, you a local? I'm like, fuck. Yes. William Street. I go, yeah.
It is a street.
And he goes, and I go, oh yeah, it's just next. I go, next main one Queen, and then next main one William. He goes, just up here. I go, yeah. He goes, 58 tram. I'm like, yeah, that's on William Street. He goes, great, thank you. And then walks off. And then I was like, yeah, no, that was right. I always doubt myself, because when I answer like too confidently, and then
Yeah.
because sometimes I've walked off and gone, oh no, that was wrong. But this was right because I did used to work on William Street pretty much. So
I caught the 58 tram the other day.
oh, there you go. Goes past
Yeah.
the zoo,
Yep.
Flagstaff Market. You know, it's a very popular tram.
Yeah, and it continues. It
Toorak.
goes to Crown.
Yeah.
Goes past the left side of Crown if you're looking at it across the river.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It goes in South Bank. I think it goes to Toorak.
Yeah, it would. That's it.
Cool.
Thanks
One
for
ep
listening.
Done.
Thanks for listening to another episode. 2 out of 3 recommend. Follow us on the socials at 2 out of 3 brothers.
We really didn't like the chips, did we?
And join our Facebook group, which is linked in the episode description. Thanks, Brett.
Thanks, Lee. Thanks for listening to 2 out of 3 Recommend. We would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which this podcast was produced and pay our respects to elders past and present.
If you'd like to support the podcast and become a member, gaining early access to episodes and an exclusive episode each month, sign up as a member using the link in the show notes.
If there's something you'd like to recommend to us, get in touch on the socials or in our Facebook group.
Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on your podcast app or on YouTube. Leave us a rating and review and tell your friends.